Imagine a world beneath our feet, a vast, unseen ecosystem teeming with life, hidden away from human eyes. In this dark and mysterious underworld, countless creatures work tirelessly, playing vital roles in the grand cycle of nature. One of the most important, yet often overlooked, is the millipede. These multi-legged marvels aren't just another creepy crawly, they are nature's decomposers, the silent janitors of the soil, ensuring that forests, jungles, and even your backyard remain healthy and thriving. But what exactly makes them so important? Millipedes are ancient survivors, dating back hundreds of millions of years, long before the first dinosaurs ever walked the earth. Despite their seemingly simple existence, they possess fascinating biological features, from their numerous legs to their surprisingly powerful chemical defenses. Unlike their speedy and predatory cousins, the centipedes, millipedes are slow-moving, peaceful creatures with an entirely different purpose, recycling dead plant material and enriching the soil. They are, quite literally, the foundation of life above ground. But here's the thing, most people know little to nothing about these creatures. Many mistake them for centipedes or assume they are dangerous, but the truth is far more fascinating. These small but mighty arthropods are essential for maintaining the balance of nature, ensuring that dead leaves, rotting wood, and other organic debris don't pile up endlessly. Without them, our planet would be a very different place. So why are millipedes so crucial to the environment, and what secrets do they hide beneath their segmented shells? In this video, we're going deep, both into the soil and into the world of millipedes. We'll uncover their unique anatomy, explore their mind-blowing survival strategies, and even take a look at their prehistoric ancestors, some of which were the size of a full-grown crocodile. By the end of this journey, you'll never look at the forest floor the same way again. So, if you're ready to dig deep into the mysteries of nature's recyclers, stay with us, because what you're about to learn will completely change your perspective on the tiny creatures crawling beneath your feet. Millipedes belong to a group of arthropods called Myriapoda, meaning countless feet, and they certainly live up to that name. While the term millipede translates to 1,000 feet, no species actually has a full 1,000 legs. However, some species come remarkably close. The record holder, Millipede Persephone, discovered in Australia, boasts an astonishing 1,306 legs, making it the leggiest creature on Earth. But despite their many feet, millipedes are slow movers, relying on their segmented, wave-like motion to navigate their underground world. Unlike centipedes, which are fast, venomous predators, millipedes are entirely different in their behavior and ecological role. They are detritivores, meaning they consume decaying plant matter and organic debris. Instead of hunting, they focus on breaking down dead leaves, wood, and other plant material, turning it into nutrient-rich soil. This makes them one of the most important decomposers in the natural world, quietly working beneath our feet to keep ecosystems functioning smoothly. Their bodies are made up of numerous segments, each with 2 pairs of legs, giving them a distinctive, rolling movement. Some species are tiny, measuring only a few millimeters, while others, like the African giant millipede, Archospirostreptus gigas, can grow over a foot long. These creatures are incredibly diverse, with over 12,000 known species, and scientists believe there may be thousands more yet to be discovered. What's truly fascinating about millipedes is their adaptability. They thrive in a variety of environments, from tropical rainforests to arid deserts, surviving in places where other creatures would struggle. Their ability to live in leaf litter, under rocks, and deep in the soil makes them crucial for breaking down organic matter in almost every ecosystem on Earth. Though they may seem fragile, millipedes have evolved some impressive defenses. Their hard exoskeletons protect them from being easily crushed, and their slow movement helps them avoid detection by predators. But if that isn't enough, they have a secret weapon, chemical defenses, which we'll explore in detail later. Despite their critical role in the environment, millipedes are often misunderstood. Many people assume they are pests or even dangerous, but in reality, they are completely harmless to humans. Unlike centipedes, they do not bite, sting, or attack. Instead, their only goal is to quietly decompose organic material, playing their part in nature's cycle of life. So, the next time you see a millipede crawling across the forest floor, remember that you're looking at one of nature's most essential workers, an ancient recycler that has been maintaining the health of ecosystems for millions of years. Millipedes are often overlooked, but their role in nature is nothing short of extraordinary. These creatures are among the most efficient recyclers on the planet, continuously breaking down dead plant material and returning essential nutrients to the soil. Without them, forests and other ecosystems would be buried under layers of decaying debris, and the natural balance of life would be severely disrupted. Their feeding habits might seem simple, but the impact they have on the environment is massive. The process begins when millipedes consume fallen leaves, rotting wood, and other organic material. Unlike earthworms, which burrow and consume soil, millipedes focus primarily on plant matter, using their specialized mouthparts to grind it into smaller pieces. This breakdown process speeds up decomposition, making nutrients more accessible to plants and other organisms. Essentially, they are nature's composters, ensuring that organic material doesn't go to waste. But the work of millipedes doesn't stop with digestion. Their excrement, known as frass, is incredibly nutrient-rich and acts as a natural fertilizer. As they move through their environment, they leave behind tiny pellets of processed plant material, enriching the soil and helping new plant life thrive. This means that the very existence of forests, grasslands, and even your backyard is partially dependent on these tiny recyclers doing their job. Scientists have observed that areas with a high population of millipedes tend to have healthier, more fertile soil. Their constant burrowing aerates the ground, allowing water and oxygen to reach plant roots more effectively. In turn, this promotes the growth of stronger, more resilient vegetation. Without millipedes, the natural cycle of decay and renewal would be much slower, potentially leading to weaker ecosystems over time. What's even more fascinating is the way millipedes work in harmony with other decomposers, including fungi, bacteria, and even certain insects. In many cases, millipedes break down tough plant material into smaller, more digestible pieces, making it easier for fungi and microbes to continue the decomposition process. This creates a perfect synergy, where multiple organisms work together to transform dead matter into new life. Millipedes have been playing this crucial role for over 400 million years, long before flowering plants even existed. They were among the first land-dwelling animals to evolve, helping shape the world's ecosystems in ways we are only beginning to understand. Their impact on soil health is so significant that some scientists believe they could play a role in sustainable agriculture and forest conservation efforts. So, the next time you step on a crunchy leaf in the forest, remember that millipedes are likely already hard at work, breaking down plant matter and ensuring that nature's cycle continues. These creatures may not be the most glamorous animals, but they are undeniably some of the most important. Millipedes may seem defenseless at first glance, but they have developed some of the most unusual and effective survival strategies in the animal kingdom. Unlike centipedes, which rely on speed and venom to protect themselves, millipedes have evolved chemical defenses that make them nearly untouchable to many predators. When threatened, many species of millipedes secrete toxic chemicals from special glands located along their bodies. Some of these substances include hydrogen cyanide, benzaldehyde, and quinones, compounds that can cause irritation, bad odors, or even poisoning in predators. While the amount of cyanide a millipede produces isn't enough to harm a human, it can be deadly for smaller animals like birds, ants, and amphibians. This unique adaptation makes millipedes one of the few creatures in nature to naturally produce cyanide as a defense. But chemical warfare isn't their only strategy. Some millipedes rely on aposematic coloration, which means they display bright, warning colors like red, orange, and yellow to signal their toxicity. This is similar to how poison dart frogs and certain insects warn predators to stay away. Even if a predator ignores these warnings and attempts to eat a millipede, the bitter-tasting chemicals often force them to spit it out before swallowing. Another common defense mechanism is the millipede's ability to curl into a tight spiral. By rolling up, they protect their vulnerable underside and create a nearly impenetrable shell with their hard exoskeleton. This is especially useful against small mammals, birds, and reptiles that would otherwise have an easy time picking them apart. Some species even have reinforced armor, making them even harder to crack open. Interestingly, some millipede species take their defenses a step further by forming defensive herds. In certain environments, groups of millipedes will cluster together when under attack, creating a mass of tightly coiled bodies that make it difficult for predators to pick off individuals. This behavior is rare but has been observed in tropical millipede species that face high predation pressure. Despite their impressive defenses, millipedes still have natural predators. Some frogs, lizards, and certain types of birds have evolved immunity to their chemical secretions and are able to eat them without suffering any harmful effects. However, for most would-be attackers, the risk simply isn't worth it, allowing millipedes to thrive with relatively few natural threats. These bizarre and highly effective defense mechanisms have allowed millipedes to survive for hundreds of millions of years, proving that sometimes, slow and steady truly does win the evolutionary race. If today's millipedes seem impressive, just wait until you hear about their prehistoric ancestors. Millions of years ago, during the Carboniferous period, the Earth was home to Arthropleura, a giant millipede-like arthropod that could grow up to 8 feet (2.5 meters) long. This ancient titan is believed to be the largest land-dwelling invertebrate of all time. Unlike today's millipedes, Arthropleura lived in an era when oxygen levels were significantly higher than they are today. This allowed arthropods to grow much larger than modern species. Fossils of Arthropleura have been found in what are now parts of North America and Europe, providing a glimpse into a time when forests were dominated by massive ferns and towering clubmoss trees. Despite its enormous size, scientists believe that Arthropleura was a peaceful herbivore, much like modern millipedes. It likely roamed ancient forests, feeding on decaying plant matter and playing a crucial role in nutrient recycling, just like its smaller relatives do today. However, its massive body would have made it nearly invulnerable to most predators, allowing it to thrive in prehistoric landscapes. Unfortunately, Arthropleura disappeared around 290 million years ago, likely due to changing climate conditions and a drop in oxygen levels. As Earth's atmosphere changed, giant arthropods became less viable, paving the way for the rise of reptiles and other terrestrial animals. Even though we no longer have millipedes the size of alligators crawling around, their modern descendants continue to carry on their ancient legacy. From tiny, soil-dwelling species to the giant African millipedes found in today's tropical rainforests, these creatures remain essential to the balance of nature. So, the next time you see a small millipede crawling along the forest floor, just imagine, millions of years ago, its ancestors might have been large enough to tower over you. Most people only see millipedes when they emerge from the soil after a heavy rain, but these creatures live fascinating lives hidden beneath leaves, rocks, and underground tunnels. Unlike insects that rely on speed or flight to survive, millipedes have adapted to a slow-paced existence, where patience and persistence are key to their survival. Millipedes are nocturnal, meaning they are most active at night. This helps them avoid predators that rely on vision to hunt, such as birds and lizards. As they move through the forest floor or burrow into the soil, they use their antennae to detect vibrations and chemical signals in their environment. Their eyesight is usually poor or completely absent, making their sense of touch and smell their primary tools for navigating the world. When it comes to reproduction, millipedes have surprisingly complex mating behaviors. Males often perform elaborate courtship rituals, gently stroking the female with their legs or producing pheromones to attract her. In some species, the male will wrap around the female in a spiral formation before transferring sperm packets. Once fertilized, the female carefully lays her eggs in moist soil, where they will be safe from drying out or being eaten by predators. Millipede eggs hatch into tiny, soft-bodied larvae that look very different from their adult counterparts. Unlike fully grown millipedes, newborns have only a few segments and legs, gaining more as they molt and grow. This process can take several months or even years, depending on the species. Some millipedes have surprisingly long lifespans, with certain species living up to 10 years in the wild. Their ability to regenerate lost legs is another fascinating trait. If a millipede loses a leg to a predator or injury, it can often regrow it during its next molt. This ability ensures that they remain mobile and continue their important work of decomposition without being permanently disabled. Despite their essential role in the ecosystem, millipedes face increasing threats due to habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change. As forests are cleared and soils become contaminated with pesticides, millipede populations are declining in some regions. Scientists are now studying these creatures more closely, recognizing their importance in maintaining soil health and biodiversity. In many ways, millipedes are nature's quiet engineers, working in the shadows, unseen but essential. Their slow, methodical movement through the earth helps sustain life above ground, making them some of the most underappreciated organisms in the natural world. Millipedes have captured human curiosity for centuries, appearing in folklore, medicine, and even modern scientific research. While some cultures view them with fear or superstition, others recognize their value and unique characteristics. In various parts of the world, millipedes are associated with myths and beliefs. In some African traditions, they are seen as symbols of patience and resilience due to their slow and steady movement. In contrast, other cultures consider them omens, believing that their sudden appearance indoors predicts rain or changes in fortune. Interestingly, millipedes have also been used in traditional medicine. Some indigenous communities in South America and Africa have crushed millipedes into pastes or powders, believing they have antibacterial or anti-inflammatory properties. While modern science has yet to confirm these medicinal uses, researchers are exploring the chemical compounds in millipede secretions to see if they contain any potential pharmaceutical benefits. In recent years, millipedes have become important subjects in scientific research, particularly in the fields of ecology and biomimicry. Their ability to break down plant material so efficiently has inspired studies on improving composting techniques and sustainable agriculture. Scientists are also examining how millipede movement can be applied to robotics, developing machines that mimic their segmented, wave-like locomotion to navigate rough terrain. Millipedes have even made their way into pop culture, appearing in documentaries, books, and movies about prehistoric creatures. Their ancient relatives, like Arthropleura, have been featured in museum exhibits and television programs, sparking interest in the incredible diversity of arthropods that once ruled the Earth. Despite their importance, millipedes still suffer from negative stereotypes. Many people mistake them for dangerous pests, leading to unnecessary fear and extermination. Educating the public about their vital role in nature could help change perceptions and encourage conservation efforts. As we continue to learn more about these creatures, it's clear that millipedes have much to teach us, not just about the past, but also about how ecosystems function and how we can better coexist with the natural world. So, what have we learned about these incredible creatures? Millipedes may not be flashy or well-known, but they are absolutely essential to the health of our planet. Acting as nature's recyclers, they break down dead plant matter, enrich the soil, and keep ecosystems functioning smoothly. Without them, forests would be overwhelmed with decay, and the very foundation of life would be disrupted. They are also living fossils, carrying a legacy that stretches back over 400 million years. From the giant Arthropleura of the Carboniferous era to the tiny decomposers in your backyard, millipedes have played a crucial role in shaping our world. Their defenses, from chemical warfare to protective curling, make them fascinating examples of evolution's ingenuity. Despite their importance, they remain underappreciated and often misunderstood. Many people fear them, unaware that these harmless creatures contribute far more to our environment than they take away. As scientists continue to study them, we may even discover new medical or technological advancements inspired by their unique biology. The next time you're walking through a forest, hiking in the mountains, or even digging in your garden, take a moment to appreciate these tiny recyclers beneath your feet. They may be slow-moving and quiet, but without them, life as we know it wouldn't be the same. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of millipedes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow nature lovers. Let us know in the comments, what do you think about these underground recyclers? Have you ever encountered a giant millipede? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and remember, nature's smallest creatures often have the biggest impact.